Okay, so what we're going to talk about is Bob and Steve. Bob and Steve are cousins. Bob and Steve have an uncle who had no kids of his own. And his uncle owned this beautiful ranch. And on the ranch there was 2 houses. And there's this nice little river flowing through the middle of the ranch. Almost dead centered on the middle of the ranch. So Bob and Steve take over this cattle ranch. They decide, you know what? We're going to become ranchers. But after a few weeks of working on the ranch, they realize cows are big and stubborn and they don't like dealing with cattle. So they go and they sell all of their cows. The key to the problem is the price they got per cow was equal to the number of cows they had. For example, if they had 12 cows, they would have got $12 per cow, which would have given them a total of $144. Or, if they had 30 cows, they would have got $30 per cow, which would have given them a total of $900. Now, those are just examples. I will tell you right now, they did not have 12 cows and they did not have 30. They had some other number. Problem is, I'm not going to tell you what that number is. After they sold the cows, they're sitting there thinking, well, geez, now we have this huge ranch. What are we going to do with the ranch? They decide they're going to take all of the money from the cows and they're going to buy sheep. Sheep are exactly $10 each. And they buy as many as they can. So in other words, when they're done buying sheep, they have less than $10 left. Because if they had $10, they'd buy another sheep. After they had bought all the sheep they could, they had exactly enough money left over. Steve had always wanted a goat. So there's exactly enough money left over for Steve to buy a goat. So Steve bought a goat. So now they have no cash left. They spent all the cash they got from selling the cows. They bought all the sheep they could, plus the one goat. On the trip home, Bob and Steve get into a fight. We'll give Bob a black eye there. They decide they don't want to work together on this ranch anymore. So they split up their sheep. Problem is, there's one left over. There's an odd number of sheep. So I've got an extra one. So now back on the cattle ranch, their uncle had left them a very trusty cattle dog who looks amazingly like a bear in a previous problem. Very trusty cattle dog. So Steve says, since he wanted the goat, he'll take the goat and keep the dog. And Bob can have the extra sheep. So now here's your question. What value did they just put on the dog? It has a dollar amount now. How much is the dog worth, basically? Now, here's the thing. Obviously, it's between $0 and $10, right? Because the goat had to cost between $0 and $10. And the sheep we know is worth $10, so the goat plus the dog has to equal the sheep, right? But that gives you a 1 in 10 chance of guessing. But just like with the bear, you can't just tell me the answer. You have to explain to me why it has to be that. The hint I will give you to this problem is make a list and look for a pattern. The first person to email me a correct response to this with a correct explanation will get 20 bonus points. Well, it'll be in my email listed by time. Yesterday was a weird day. Anybody after that that gives me a correct answer before I explain it in class will get 10 bonus points. So it's definitely worth your time. By the way, there is a new quiz due today at 11:59 p.m. and a new homework due Monday.